This is True Sports and a live broadcast.
You see, football is a meritocracy. You aren't handed anything. You earn everything, every single day, over and over again. You have to prove it. That's the way that the NFL, that's the way that football works. A great example of this is Dak Prescott and what he's done. He's earned the right to be our quarterback. As hard as that is for me to say, he's earned that right.
That would be Tony Romo coming to terms with his reality.
Boo. Injury-prone Tony Romo. No, I'm just playing. Now, actually, because of that, I actually earned a lot of respect for the guy. I mean, I know I don't know if the team forced him to say that, but it seemed very genuine from the way that the way I got it. It's just somebody, like you said, coming to realization that he's not the starting quarterback anymore, and if he wants another job, he's gonna have to earn it. Which is, I mean, isn't that what he did to Drew Bledsoe? Isn't that what Tom Brady did to Drew Bledsoe?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, like you said, it's a sport where you have to earn it. You're not gonna be given it just because you have seniority, unless you're somebody like Tom Brady. But like, let's be realistic. If somebody else came in and was playing to the same caliber as Dak Prescott was coming in, a lot of people will start questioning, like, you know what, maybe we don't want to ruin the momentum we have right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of respect for Tony after that. I've always liked him. He always seems like a very likable guy.
Really?
I mean, off the field. He seems like a likable guy. He's a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, so I've never liked him on the field because I can't stand the Cowboys.
I mean, I hate the Cowboys because, I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, so that rivalry, it's like you with, like the Broncos or the Raiders, which I'm sure, like,
yeah, Broncos. Down with the Broncos.
I'm sure no matter what, like, you just don't like them at all. So, I mean, to me, I've always just hated them because, we play them twice a year. And it's somebody who I've always just felt that he was delusional in a lot of sense, to where he's like, no, we're fine. I'm like, dude, you can never produce what your paycheck should be reflecting because, he's a high paid quarterback, but he never really put up the equity.
Romo?
Yeah, Romo, as far as putting the equity in the playoffs. He always choked in the playoff. That's what I'm talking about.
Postseason, definitely.
Okay, yeah. But, breaking records in the regular season is completely different than getting paid as a Super Bowl champion, which is what it seemed like he was getting paid for.
Well, I mean, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in history in the regular season. And that, you can't debate that. I mean, when it comes to his talent and his skill and the things that he's been able to do in the regular season are untouchable. I mean, he's been one of the best of all time in the regular season. It's postseason that's tarnished his record.
Well, I mean, that's what matters at the end with your legacy. I mean, but look at Peyton Manning. He's broken so many regular season records, yet he still found a way to at least win something. Last year wasn't really all him. I'll give him that. But, I mean, he made appearances in the Super Bowl and didn't win. But, I mean, I just don't really like him. But
my question for you then is, now Tony Romo getting behind Dak Prescott, doing that press conference, saying what they need to say, does that make the Cowboys legitimate favorites and arguably the best in the league right now?
Right now, me personally, I don't know. I don't think so, and it's not just me, hating the Cowboys speaking.
That sounds like cowboy hate.
But no, like I said, that's not cowboy hate at all. They've ran the stats on it. They've had the easiest schedule in the league, and I mean, granted, they still won their games. I'm not taking that away from them and saying that they suck or they're not gonna do anything. I think that they have potential to go deep into the playoffs, but I don't think that they'll win a ring. They
9-1 with a rookie quarterback. No, I mean, that's
and an offensive line that makes up for everything. They protect him. They make all these big holes
it's a team game
for the running back. No, I'm just saying they have a talented team. I'm not taking that away from them. I just think that I don't think that they're the best team in the league. I think that the Raiders and the Patriots are still better than them, and even the Seahawks with the not as great league record because they have that tie.
My view is that they're 9-1, and that's all you have to look at. The fact that they're 9-1 and Therefore, they are the best in the league right now. And
So with that logic, the Clippers are the best in the league?
they are right now,
okay.
yes.
I just wanted to hear you say that.
No, I mean,
You
yes,
never
they
admit-
have the
you
best
never admit it.
record. Therefore, they are the best team in the league.
I don't
So-
think the Cowboys are the best team. I think that they're top 3, yes, but I don't think they're the best.
Well, I guess, time will tell.
And time will tell a lot with a lot of our, with our new starting quarterback, Jared Goff, who finally got his start. Are you happy? I'm sure that, your golf poster was nice and up on your wall. You had your golf pajamas or your Ram pajamas.
Well, it was nice to finally see
What we have?
offensive scoring,
Not much of it, but yeah, no. I mean,
But it
I'm-
happened.
I'm glad that we had something. And who scored? It was Gurley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gurley
I mean,
punched it in.
I
And Gurley looked better, too.
He did that. I will give him. And I think it was Marcellus Wiley, who was from ESPN, who said that a lot of times it doesn't, it's not known to the public, but whenever you get that fresh guy coming in, whereas where Goff come in, it's kind of it'll be like a fresh start to Gurley. It helps him kind of just be like, you know what? Forget what happened in the first couple of games. This is my time. This is when I need to shine. It's that extra boost for him to prove something. And I think we saw a little glimpse of him. He rushed for, I think, 71 yards, if I'm not mistaken, a touchdown. Still not over 100 yards. I think we want to see that 100-yard game. But he had a play over 20 yards, which we haven't seen in a while. And, I mean, it's good to see him kind of getting focused again and, playing what we feel like he should be playing to.
Yeah, it's an injection of adrenaline. It gets the team fired up. It's something fresh. It's something new. It's the honeymoon phase all over again. So one guy that I feel is not talked about enough on this Rams team is Joyner on the defensive end.
Yeah.
That guy has been just an animal, just tearing up other teams' receivers all season, just locking everybody up. And he's a little undersized for a corner.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like he gets enough recognition. And I finally heard them talking about him this weekend against Dolphins. But, I would be willing to say that he's, as far as performance on the field and locking up number one receivers, I would say that he's surpassing Josh Norman.
I don't know about that. Do you have the numbers to prove that? He has definitely produced more than I think is expected of him, but I don't know if he's Norman, because Norman still had a pretty good season so far. He's been a little quiet just because there's not that flair, where it was with the Panthers last year, just because for a while they were undefeated for a while, and then they only lost one game the whole season. So, and with Cam Newton, with the dab, with the whole dancing, with the giving the ball to kids, for some reason that kept getting a lot more exposure than it did in the past. But so I mean, Norman, it was he was that personality at the same time on the defensive side. But I mean, Norman still had a really good season this year, though.
Definitely.
The players that are still producing are like Alec Ogletree, Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is a beast. That kid is so strong, dude.
Yeah. I mean, those guys make it easier for everybody else on the defense.
That line is no joke. Their defensive line is ridiculous. And I mean, they lost a few players in the offseason, but it doesn't seem like they've lost, a step from it, which is great to see, because I mean, they did lose a few key players, and I was like, I hope this doesn't hurt them. I hope they're still able to have a defensive, powerhouse, and they do. I mean, just wish the offense would be producing a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at corners, I look at how many plays they disrupt. And it just seems to me that Joyner, I need to get the exact numbers to see how many plays he's disrupted. But, it seems like he's disrupting every single play. And he's always in there making noise. He's always in there throwing somebody off, making somebody work harder. And that, to me, is a great corner. And it's funny because he wanted to hang it up. He didn't want to do it anymore.
How long has he been playing? I mean, has he been in the league for a long time?
No, not too long. Again, I'd have to get the numbers to see exactly. But that's one that I didn't prepare for, but I wanted to bring up because I felt like he's not talked about enough. So I'll do my homework and I'll get all the numbers and stats and stuff for next week. But I feel like he deserves some recognition because from what I saw from him against the Dolphins and what I've seen all season, the thing is the Rams are still very unentertaining. they're
my
still
God,
a boring
yes.
team to watch. And so that begs the question is, what do they have to do? Because you're in LA. LA is entertainment capital. You have to put a product out there that is entertaining. That's why the Lakers are still selling out, even though they're not projected to do anything and they have a young team, is because they are entertaining. This Rams team is not entertaining. So
I would say it's more because of their history, though. Lakers are the one franchise I think have earned that equity with the fans because, I mean, they've been great for so long that people still go to support. And it's like a family tradition.
If it's boring, are you going to pay $200 per ticket to go to a game?
I mean, people did it last year.
But that was a special circumstance because Kobe was hanging it up.
People did it the year before that where their record was
Again,
still at a record
Kobe
low.
was there.
I know, but Kobe wasn't involved the year prior to that like he was last year. Last year, I mean, I would have even not minded to go to a game because, I mean, it was his last year. It was his final, go around,
Right.
little final tour. But, I mean, yeah.
My point is that you have to put an entertaining product on the field, and the Rams are not doing that right now. So at what point do we say that it's time to get rid of Fisher? When are we going to get rid of Fisher?
I mean, he bought himself some time by drafting a rookie quarterback. So, I mean, they should have let him go already.
Then offensive coordinator? I mean, when are we going to do something?
The offensive coordinator should be fired right away, like immediately.
I mean, bring North Turner in. He's available now. He just quit.
But does he want to come?
I don't know. I mean, he's a great. North Turner is one of the great offensive coordinators. He's not a very good head coach, but he's a great offensive coordinator. I would love to have North Turner on this Rams team. I think he would do amazing things with Jared Goff. So I don't know. We'll see. But so sleepers. Do you have any sleepers in mind as far as teams you think that could make some noise in the playoffs that maybe aren't getting talked about or aren't getting recognition?
I mean, I hate to say it, but the Giants are 7-3. And I mean, they're not. I mean, they're in the NFC, who has a really good, record for for their division. The Eagles are 5-5, and they're in last place. They can be in other divisions and be in like second place, for their division. So I mean, it's just a hard division. Obviously, with the Cowboys, they're 9-1, and then the Giants are 7-3. It's a team that they have the talent. Their defense is playing a lot better than I expected because we usually destroy the Giants. We had beaten them the last 4 times we met, and I mean they won this year. They've gotten a lot better. I've seen a few of their games. Their defense is getting better. I mean obviously their offense is ridiculous. Eli Manning. They have Victor Cruz back, who's healthy. They have Sterling Shepard, who they just drafted as a rookie, and then they have Odell. So I mean they have a potential to be very good. And from what we know of the Giants, all they need is a ticket to get in, and they'll show what they got. I mean they did it twice. And they did it to the Patriots once, who were undefeated. They were their only loss that season.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that pick. My pick is the Redskins. Obviously, the Redskins would have to surpass the Giants for the wild card spot because right now it's the Giants and Redskins that would be, based on record right now, would be battling it out for the wild card spot. So if the Redskins could get past the Giants as far as record and take that, steal that wild card spot, I feel like they could make a lot of noise. Cousins has been having an awesome season, and very consistent season, and they have a much better all-around defense than they've had in the past couple years. In the past couple years, it's been more of the frontline guys that have been better, and now they have more all-around defense because they have Norman out there, and their offense is producing. Cousins, you can't deny that guy is having a great season, and by his standards, it is a great season. So yeah, Redskins would be my pick. And it's funny, we got this. So we got the Raiders Houston game on right now. That's happening in Mexico. I have some thoughts on this game. Or the idea. So the question, I've heard the question popping up everywhere. Should the NFL expand to London and to Mexico? Is it a good idea? And while I understand the concept and I understand the idea of expanding the brand and reaching out, especially with the way ratings have been dipping here in the United States. There's one thing that comes to mind. London, obviously, is not a very dangerous place. It's not known for being a dangerous place. But when you talk about Mexico, I've been to Mexico a lot. I was working for cruise ships, and I spent a lot of time both on the Gulf side and on the Pacific side of Mexico. And one thing that was, we would get a notice when we would get to Mexico, and we'd be spending about 4 months in Mexico. We would get a letter to all crew that would say, when you go out, if you're going to go out and wander around Mexico, wander out in the streets, make sure that you dress very casual. Do not wear any jewelry. Do not take large amounts of cash. This similar note was given to the Houston players. I remember one day on the ships, we had to wait. We got stuck for 2-3 hours after we were supposed to leave, and 4 of our cooks from India came back. And they came back looking pretty messed up. What happened was they went to try and buy some DVDs, some bootleg DVDs, and they got robbed by 4 dudes with AK-47s. And they had $600, their watches, their shirts, everything was stolen from them. Now, this is not to down Mexico. I love Mexico. I think Mexico is a beautiful country, and I love going there. And I love not just the idea of, beaches and food, but being able to dive into the culture and really enjoying the culture of Mexico. That being said, they have a problem with the cartels. And so my question would be, aside from the safety factor, would there be any other reason in your mind why it doesn't make sense or maybe it's just not right to put an NFL franchise in Mexico?
No, I mean, I think you're being completely racist. I think that's completely false. Not just playing. No, yeah, I mean, I agree. I've thought about the same conversation where they say possibly moving a team out there. I don't think it would be a great idea because of the control and the power that the cartels have out there. I mean, they've kidnapped and murdered famous singers from Mexico who are like huge, who are like megastars, who would be like if somebody did it to like a kind of like a Jay-Z type of thing, or Beyonce, like a big name who's been in the industry for years, someone like that. And they've kidnapped these their children, asked for ransom money, and they gave them the ransom, let the kid go. Then they, I don't know if it was a couple of years later, they kidnapped them again, asked for ransom money, but they killed them. So, right. I mean, they do have that issue there where, I mean, though, they have that cartel where they have a lot of power and they're not afraid to take out people, who are successful just to get money. But so I don't think it's a good idea for players because it'll endanger their safety. A lot of them some of them like to live,
what about their families?
Lavish. Exactly. They have money. They want to show it sometimes, which is, not a bad thing for them. If that's the way they choose to live, then that's perfectly fine. And I don't know. I think it'd just be weird going to a different country. Even personally, I don't even think a team should move to London. I just think
me either.
I just think it kind of loses its the connection and the unity of the league all being in the U.S. I have no issue with them going for, a couple of games a year. If they go to Mexico, if they go to London, I even heard, I believe next year they're going to China or the year after that. So, I mean, they are expanding. I think it's great if they do that, every couple of weeks, or even if they, have one team a week go, then if it gets to that point, I have no problem with that. But a team moving to a different country, I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it just, I mean, the idea of like the Chargers moving to Mexico, for instance, it doesn't make sense to me. It's an American league. If you want to, start up an international league that's maybe run by the NFL, I could understand something like that because then it would allow also the football to get into the Olympics. So I could see something like that happening. But an NFL franchise in another country, I feel like it takes away from the organic nature of our sports.
Yeah, agreed,
same with basketball. I completely disagree with basketball expanding and putting a franchise in another country. Also, the wear and tear on the players would be ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about, a full day of flights just to play a basketball game. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, that's true. Imagine like the players who are in that other country, because they're the ones who are going to be having to put those those extra miles every week, every day. Some of them.
Yeah,
Especially
and you
in
would
the
have to
NBA.
move if your franchise moved to Mexico, for instance, you would have to relocate your family to Mexico.
Or imagine, but imagine like a further place, China. Imagine they go to China. That's far.
That's nuts.
That's a further a further flight for somebody. And imagine a team who plays for the NFL. Hypothetically, they have 2 road games back to back, so they're gonna have to fly over there, and then they're gonna be away from their family. Sometimes they're away from their family for some time during the season. That's understandable, but it's a difference between being like a short flight away than being a flight where it's gonna take you almost a day to get back. So, I just think if going to another country, I don't think it's a great idea for the players, and even, like you said, for the organic nature of the sports. And I don't know. I love the idea where it's in a different place. Even when they go to London, it's dope. Sometimes, I'm awake at like 6 in the morning, especially with the newborn baby. Or I'm awake and I'm like, oh, that's, they have a London game. So I go downstairs and I just watch the game. I like that. I feel it's different. And Monday night, with the Mexico thing, it's a different environment. It's a different type of feeling for the game. It got me excited to watch it today. I do like it, but not to go to another place. Did want to bring up another issue regarding steroids in sports. There's an article where they said that they had 10 Olympic players who won medals, who had their medals revoked from them because they tested samples from 2008 Olympics and they tested positive. You know how they get better testing things and how to, find out if they were cheating or not. So they found out they were doping. Does that bother you for that they did it, or, however you want to play it? Or would you rather kind of not know, especially after it's been 8 years since it's happened? Like, hypothetically, like I did hear someone was saying, not that they're trying to say that he is on anything, but like Usain Bolt, because he's so great, he's just destroying everything. Like, would you that would suck if we found out, he's doping. So like in that sense, would you rather just not know, just because it's so great and it gets people excited to watch a sport that they would probably never watch anyways, but they're like, oh, Usain Bolt's about to destroy everybody, let's watch this. So how do you feel about that?
I want people to stop acting surprised. That's what I want. I don't condone cheating. I think it's ridiculous, and it takes away from. I believe that athletes in general have. There are people that are gifted. The ability to be an athlete is a gift. I am an athletic person, but I could not be a professional athlete because I am not gifted with those special set of skills and instinct and physique that it takes to be a professional athlete.
Yeah, that's not a joke.
So my biggest thing is stop acting surprised. Fans, people that watch the sports, people that follow these athletes, stop acting surprised, because the bottom line is it is the fans that drive the steroid use, because we want bigger, we want faster, we want stronger. We want athletes to be Superman. We grow up idolizing superheroes, and then we want these athletes to be those superheroes. And then we're paying them ridiculous amounts of money. So in order for them to keep that money coming in, they have to keep their bodies going. And unfortunately, Father Time, as we saw with Kobe Bryant, is undefeated, and it will stop you at some point. So my other thing is that, it's like, for instance, when kids, right? If there's one kid that maybe has a bad temper and he likes to break stuff, or he'll throw stuff, or there's something that he does and it entertains the other kids. So the other kids will egg him on. I grew up with a lot of siblings, and I've watched this happen where the other kids will egg that one kid on and try and spark their temper. So they'll start doing something, that's funny or entertaining, like breaking stuff or throwing something or cursing, right? And I feel like it's kind of that same concept where we're doing that with these athletes, where we want you to be more. And so we are egging it on. So even though we know it's destructive and we know it's wrong and it's bad, we're not going to say anything about it because we want to see superhuman. We want to see Superman on the field. And, that's what it boils down to.
Actually, can I just cut you off on that? I really like that point you made. That's I like the way you said that. That was a really good point. Like I didn't think about that. That makes a lot of sense. We idolize these non-human people or unrealistic expectations, and that's what we want to see, and that's the standard we set. So anybody who doesn't come close to that, just kind of point aside like, oh, they're not that great. Like really think about the worst player in the NBA is probably better than anybody you will ever like play against or anyone you've ever even like met. Yeah. Like, and that's the worst player.
I know guys that cannot get into the NBA that are unbelievable ballers.
Players, right? Exactly.
I mean, you and I have sat at the Drew League and watched guys play basketball, and we're just like, how does this guy not have an NBA contract? Right? I mean, just unbelievable basketball players and unbelievable athletes.
You're like, how's this guy not a star? Or how's this guy not, on, like you said, like on a roster? And yet, you really sit down and think about it. Like, if this person can't even get into the league, imagine like the quality of the talent. Like obviously you see it. So when you see these players playing against each other, it doesn't seem like they're as good as they really are. Put them up against somebody else, like a lower quality, and you'll see like, wow, like these guys are amazing, and they're not even trying some of the time. Like, yeah, I get you. Like we put this standard, and I mean, and also the thing is they're competing against each other. So and they're also competing against the new kids coming in, who are, who have something to prove, who have like this energy, to them that the older athlete probably doesn't really have anymore. So he's just like, crap, I kind of do need to do something. Yeah, I agree. I think it's something that
we're get a little edge.
Exactly.
Keep me going. Or keep that paycheck coming.
Exactly. Let me keep my family fed, or, I'm not saying it's okay.
It doesn't make it right.
I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying everyone should cheat.
I'm just saying we need to take a look in the mirror as fans.
Yeah, I just don't think that we should be surprised. Like, how many of us loved that run that baseball had when everybody was,
hitting home runs,
all them home runs. Yep. Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds.
Everybody was eating it up.
Exactly. We all loved it. Sammy Sosa. We all wanted to see those games. Oh, is he going to break the record? Yeah. Oh, is he going to break the record?
And everybody knew they were on steroids. Everybody knew Mark McGwire was on steroids. But you know what people did? They turned a blind eye to it. Oh, what?
And no, then as soon as we knew, I'm appalled. No, the heck you weren't. No, you weren't. You knew. We all knew they were. But it was like that elephant in the room. Don't talk about it. It's there. We see it.
Yeah. This is too much fun. Just enjoy.
Just enjoy the magic that's happening. Just enjoy all these records that are being broken that are gonna probably not even count later.
And that's why I say I want to stop condemning athletes for it. Just set the rules and do the testing. And when they break the rules, they get fined or they get suspended. That's it. Let's not make a big deal about it anymore, because honestly, at the end of the day, fans feed into it, turn a blind eye to it until all of a sudden it's your favorite athlete, and then it's like, no way. It's a yes way.
I think they should have like two, like in the Olympics, they should have the non-steroid one, and then they should have the ones, okay, these are all juicing, and like we just see both of them.
Yeah, just go ahead and separate them.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
All juicing baseball players have to hit third.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, man.
It's like a guaranteed home run.
So, real quick, you got 1 minute, 45 seconds to 1 minute. Favorite TV show or movie that's either coming out or just came out, and why? Go.
Oh crap! Why didn't you tell me about this before? I would have been prepared.
That's why. It's
Westworld. That show is so awesome.
So you've watched it?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with it since it came out. Like I watch it every week. I haven't seen this week's episode, which I'm a little late on. Awesome, super crazy. It's people who are rich. They go to this place called Westworld where they're into their own bodies. They go there. They're like androids living there. They look like real humans. They talk like, they respond based off of. No, they all have their own little stories. They're programmed to kind of be. One's a bartender. One could be sheriffs. Civilians. All of that. But they can pretty much kill anybody. They just can't be killed. And the androids can't harm anybody. But as the show progresses, they've kind of learned that they're going against what they were programmed to do, and some of them are actually realizing that they're in a world that they have no control over and waking up. So it's crazy.
Time's
really
up.
Dope show.
Dope. Man.
Okay, well, one
I'm
more
excited. I'm excited about Moana. It's that new animated one with The Rock. Yeah. So my wife's Hawaiian, and so obviously my son is part Hawaiian, and I love Hawaiian culture. I've spent a lot of time in Hawaii, and so I'm really excited to see this movie because it looks like they incorporated a lot of Hawaiian culture and a lot of Hawaiian traditions and beliefs, and it looks really cool. And it's funny. And Rock right now is just on a tear, man. I mean, if this guy makes any more movies, I bet you he has his own theater with a room designated to his movie collection of him. I mean, the guy's got so many movies out right now. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he has an archive for it. I mean, he definitely has the work for it.
He was just on Forbes magazine for being one of the world's wealthiest men.
Yeah. He was also, I think it was People magazine. He won Sexiest Man Alive. It was funny because he posted like a thing about it where it had him when he was like chubby. And then he posted like the cover next to it. It was just funny because I mean like where he went from, and then he was just like I'm honored. He's like, but back to waking up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Nothing stops. Got to keep the grind going. I mean, he's just an awesome person. That movie does look good. The one thing I'm actually surprised that they're not promoting it more. I would think that it would get a little more promotion than it actually really is getting. I don't see as many commercials for it as I would have thought, and as I would like. I still want to watch it. It looks hilarious. And through The Rock, I'm sold. I'm in.
He's a walking promotion himself.
Oh,
too.
He is. Especially with like in all his social media platforms, he has so many followers and so many people there that I mean it's promotion as well. But still, I'm just little. I just thought it'd be a little bit more. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, dude. I love Hawaiian songs. They're so relaxing.
Oh yeah, man.
So relaxing, so soothing.
I have a Hawaiian station on my Pandora, so like if I just want to sit and relax, I'll throw that on. Sometimes too when I'm working, I'll put that on. It puts me in a zone. But on to my favorite part of the show.
Hey, we should get a drop
Lakers
for this.
update.
We should get like a drop, like a not like obviously not like sports or like ESPN, like a like something like that's known, like so people know that's what we're gonna talk about.
Right.
The Lakers and how they suck.
I'll work on that. I'll find a little thing for it. So real quick Lakers update. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but
thank God.
So one thing I wanted to talk about was the success and the shortcomings. So successes for the Lakers so far this year have been energy, fight, defense, bench, and our three-point shooting. And that is evident in a couple different things. They are 10th in contested shots, which I think is a very cool stat. They have 42 two-point shots contested and 21 three-point shots contested. Opponent field goal percentage is down to 44%. Their three-point field goal percentage, guess, is it over or under 40%?
I'm assuming because you're bringing up the stat, it's over.
It's over, 44%, which is awesome, man. It really turned around their three-point shooting. 2-point field goal percentage is 56%. Now, here's a stat that stands out to me. Their assisted twos and threes. So their assisted two-pointers are 47%, and their assisted three-pointers, 60%. I think that is a great stat. If you look at somebody like the Warriors, theirs is like 60 and 100. But it shows progress. It shows that the Lakers are moving in the right direction with moving the ball and making sure that their points are coming off of assists, which is important. And here is my favorite stat out of all of them, is that the Lakers are 4th in team three-point defense, so perimeter defense. They are 4th in the league. That is such a remarkable turnaround from last year and from the last couple of years. They were one of the top, one of the bottom 2 or 3 teams in the league last year in perimeter defense. This year they are number 4, and they have the same perimeter players.
That's surprising. I was actually listening to Marcellus and Kelvin earlier today, and one of the guys, he was a writer for Lakers, or I don't know if he does a talk show with the Lakers, and he was saying that the thing they need to work on was their defense. He was saying that
interior defense. So that brings me to my shortcomings.
Okay, yeah, because he was saying that they're moving the ball great on offense, but they're not using that same type of playing to in their defense where they're kind of just letting a lot of, I guess, easy shots or whatever. He's just kind of going about it. Okay,
and that's what speaks to how good they're playing, because they're actually 10th in the league in interior defense, which the fact that their interior defense is a shortcoming and it's something that they need to work on, and they're still 10th in the league, I think it just speaks to the overall success of the team this year and how much it's a night and day difference from last year and how much success they've had in turning this thing around. The other shortcoming is rebounding. They got completely crushed in rebounds on Sunday, and that's an area that's got to get better. I mean, when you got guys like I feel that to solve the interior D and to solve the rebounding, it's as simple as just giving Mozgov more minutes. I don't feel like Mozgov gets enough minutes, so I think if they crank up his minutes, give him some more minutes, it will definitely help that. Also, Julius had a rough game on Sunday as far as rebounding. I mean, he still had 15 points, but he only had 3 boards, and that is uncharacteristic. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
You have it. Stick. Uncharacteristic.
Yeah, that's he's a double machine, so that'll turn around. So overall, very successful when you really break down the numbers. All the stats that I just gave came from NBA.com. It was the advanced stats, hustle stats. Those are the things that I looked at because those are what tell me if the team has actually grown or if they're just getting lucky. And these stats tell me that they have actually grown and that they are progressing as a team. Like I said, perimeter D to go from a bottom feeder to top 4 in the league in 1 year with the same perimeter players, I think that's awesome. Granted, they do have Brandon Ingram now this year, who is a stellar defender. So, obviously that's helped them out a lot. But
arms.
Yeah, that's helped them out a lot. But
hey, how's D'Angelo doing? And he didn't practice today, I think.
He's had some knee soreness. So
he didn't play Friday, right?
Friday.
Yeah.
He played Sunday. He had a decent game. He's
not 100.
Yeah, he's not 100%. You could tell, but they kept his minutes a little short. And speaking of short minutes, okay, something I want to talk about is LeBron James skipping out in games.
LeBron James.
Okay. If you cannot play every game in the season, then maybe you're playing too many minutes a game. I was looking at his numbers, and they were talking about it. Tyronn Lue was talking about it. Tyronn Lue said that LeBron James' minute goal is 38 minutes a game. Okay. Now, if you cut that down to 33 minutes a game, maybe even 34 minutes a game.
30.
Yeah. Even if you cut it down to 34 minutes a game, that gives you 4 extra minutes a game. That would add up to a complete game. Maybe you wouldn't have to take games off.
Yeah, at his age, it'd make a drastic difference.
Michael Thompson was saying on 710, he said, the fact that these guys say that they have to rest is absolutely ridiculous, that it would not have happened back in the day. And I understand it was a different game back then.
Way different.
But the bottom line is here's my solution. I'm in the boat that I believe that the league should step in. I believe that the team and the coach should either get fined or there should be a suspension if players skip games. My reason being that you have practices that you could take off. And here's the thing. Do you think LeBron James missed a paycheck by missing a game?
Of course not. It's LeBron James.
Right. He still got paid. Right? Yep. So you could take off practices and it's not going to affect anything, right? It's not going to affect the hard-earned, hardworking family man that's making $11 an hour trying to provide for his family and decides that once a year he's going to take his family to a Cavaliers game and his son, all he wants to do, his 6-7-year-old son, is see LeBron James play, and they go to the game and guess what? LeBron's sitting because he needs to rest. I mean, are you kidding me?
All right, Chris, calm down, take a deep breath. The only thing I'm going to say is, are you surprised? This is the guy who wanted to cut the season down from 82 games and said 82 games was too long and it was unrealistic for players to play that many games. He complained about 82 games.
But baseball players could play 160 games.
Well, different pace, I guess. But, still, that's a lot. But
it's a lot of travel.
Oh, no, it is. And, it's still wear and tear on your body. But LeBron complained about not having to play 82 games. He still got his wish, or he wanted the season to be shorter. His season is shorter, whether the league was going to make the change or not. He said, okay, well, I'm not playing 82 games no matter what. so I'm gonna take a few days off. And I remember, I think, this was a couple years ago, but I remember they asked Jordan about it. They're like, how do you feel? Do you feel like that's like it's something like, you felt that it was too many games that you played and you wish, the season would have been a little shorter? And he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I wanted to play every single day that I could.
Right.
That
Kobe
was
said
my
the same
life.
thing.
He's like, that was my life. I was hungry to play. I wanted to play. I needed to play. Yep. He's like, I wish it was longer. Yep. He's like, I wanted to play every single game I could. Obviously, if you're injured, that's a different story. But if you're just, exhausted or tired, like you said, maybe you should take a couple minutes, off every game. It does suck because, like you said, it's, people wanting to go play. And it's not like it's his last season either. He's still going to have a couple more. But I know, like, some of my coworkers were like, hey, we're going to go watch the Laker game. You want to go? I'm like, of course not. It's the Lakers. I don't want to be there. If it's the Clippers, a different story. But they're like, well, we're going to go watch. LeBron's going to be there. And I was thinking, I'm like, that's even if he plays.
Right.
He travels, but what if he's just on the bench? Or what if he's just like, you know what? I'll play 5 minutes and I'm out.
You know what? Something that struck me last year was a reporter asked Kobe. It was towards the end of the season, and you could tell he had nothing left. He was completely gassed. And the reporter asked him, he said, how are you still doing this? What is motivating you to go out there and play? There's nothing for you to play for. And he said, the fans. He said, there are little kids out there and families who have come out to see me play. And if I'm not dying, I'm going to be out there to play.
Well, he took a couple games off, though, right? But, there was somewhere...
He had to because of injuries and stuff.
His body couldn't. I get it. That's what I'm saying. At that point, if it's your last season, but your body's not, cooperating the way you want it to, I get it. If you have to take a couple of days off. But when you're kind of still in your prime, you're like, going downhill a little bit. But then when you hear comments of people saying that you're losing it or that you're not the best player in the world or that you're not in your prime anymore, and yet you come back with comments saying, I'm better than I've ever been, I'm stronger than I've ever been, I'm a better player than ever, then why are you taking nights off?
My simple solution is cut your minutes down. You don't want, if you're LeBron James and you have such a talented team around you, why do you need to play 38 minutes a game? You don't. You cut it down to 34, and you make sure that you're in there every single game, so that way the hardworking family or the man that has fought to provide for his family and wants to take his son to see his favorite player, LeBron James, doesn't miss out on the opportunity to see him. And then for you to not, go out and interact with the fans on top of that is pathetic. If you're not going to play and you're going to take a day off because you feel like you need rest, I need rest. Even though I have masseuse that will massage me whenever I want. I have ice bath whenever I want. I have physical therapists that will take care of me 24/7. If you need rest, then you go out there, you interact with the fans, and you sign autographs for some of these kids that came out to see you and are not going to be able to see you now because you feel it necessary to play 39, 40 minutes a game rather than cut those minutes down to make sure that you're in every game. It's pathetic. I hate it. And the league needs to step in and do something. There needs to be either fines, the team should get fined, the coach should get fined, and the players should not get paid. I don't care what your contract says. If you don't play every single game, then you should lose pay for that game. And that should be it. It's pathetic, and I'm tired of it.
Someone's very emotional about this topic. I get it, though. He can still, like you said, he can still play, and then Tyronn Lue can just, give him a massage afterwards. So I'm sure that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, or play him 20 minutes. At least if you get in there, so the kids that came out to see you. But that's what Kobe was doing last year when he had nothing and he could not play. He went out and he played 20 minutes. He made sure that he at least got in the game. He played the first quarter and then he played the third quarter, and it was hard for him. He said how hard.
Are you
it was.
really surprised that LeBron's doing this, though? This is the guy who left the game because of cramps.
I'm not surprised, and that's why it's annoying.
Remember?
He got carried off the floor.
Cramps.
Because of a cramp.
Remember
last year, Kobe dislocated his finger, goes over to Gary Vitti. Gary Vitti goes, okay, 1, 2, 3, pop, and then he goes right back onto the court like a gangster.
No, that was pretty thug. Dude, remember when he was complaining about the AC not being on in San Antonio? LeBron.
Yeah. Oh my
Dude, I'm just saying, like,
dude.
I just don't get how you're surprised by this. Like, this is LeBron.
I'm not surprised by
This
it.
is
I'm
LeBron
annoyed
behavior.
by it. I'm annoyed by it. There are little kids whose dad has worked his butt off to take him to that game, and you're not playing.
It's LeBron.
I took my son to see Kobe last year because it was his last year, and he hasn't been able to see him play in person. I paid $600 roughly. It was like $650 after everything, taxes and everything. That's not including parking. That's not including food. That's just for the tickets.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. If Kobe didn't play, I would have been extremely disappointed. I would have been a little understanding because of the nature of his body and where he was at physically.
Barely even walk.
Right. But if it was Kobe in his prime, no, it would have been unacceptable. And I probably would have never went to a Laker game again.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, tell us how you feel, Chris. Now it's pretty annoying. Dude, we're recording this Monday night. Yeah, with the game going on in Mexico and everything. One thing that I did find interesting, they were saying it's a 95, I believe, 1,000 seat stadium, and they sold out within less than 30 minutes, which is crazy for that big of a stadium. I mean, it's dope that the fans really turned out, and the stadium was really loud and all that. I mean, I didn't really know. Like, I've heard of the stadium just because it's the the big one where they have a lot of big events and big soccer games. I know they've hosted 2 World Cup finals. It's a big historic stadium that's been out forever. It's just dope to see kind of the fans do that and actually show up. Like, they were all in during this game. So I just wanted to bring that up. One other thing that I did want to ask you, since you're our resident NBA expert here, who do you think is the MVP of the season so far? Obviously, I know we're only 2.5, 3 weeks in, so it's not gonna. I mean, it probably won't even be this person later on, or it might be. But who do you have so far?
One of the things that's really disappointing about the NBA voting for MVP is that if you're not on a winning team, you could be the best player on the planet, but if you're not on a winning team, you're probably not going to get the votes. And Anthony Davis right now is so far above everyone else. He should be the MVP regardless. I don't care if his team wins 5 games all season. I understand with basketball, the reason why it is that way is because one player can affect the game more than, for instance, a baseball team, right? So the idea is that if in order to be the MVP, you have to affect your team in a way that causes wins. But Anthony Davis, this is not his fault. His team has been riddled with injuries. They can't seem to keep people healthy, and they're just not a good team. He has nobody around him. He does not have a supporting cast. But the numbers that he is putting up are just phenomenal, and he's doing it against everyone. Everyone in the league is feeling his wrath. So he would be my MVP pick, and if he keeps this up, I really hope he gets it, regardless of the team record.
The only thing I would say that will come into factor is just seeing him staying healthy. I mean, he has a record of not always, being able to stay healthy. But I mean, like you said, if he stays with it and he's able to be consistent, I mean, he's that guy is a problem. I'm just waiting for them to either get him some support or get traded somewhere. Dude, Russell Westbrook has been killing
Lakers.
I don't think that'll happen.
No, I think they have a chance of getting him in free agency, but not in trade. I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade any of our guys. I don't care who it's for. I was going to say,
do you want to lose players? Like, even though he's a good player, that's going to hurt you.
They've been talking about that a lot on the radio. Oh, well, they could trade Randall and
Boogie,
Clarkson.
Right?
And I'm like, no, I don't want to trade anybody. This team is talented and growing. Let's keep growing and let's see what we can get free agency. I would love to see Anthony Davis come to the Lakers, but I want to see him come as a free agent.
For sure. What do you think about Westbrook? Dude, he's killing it. That guy's playing like somebody possessed, averaging almost a triple-double every game.
He has to.
But the team isn't doing anything. He has no support, which sucks because the team was actually really good last year, even, obviously with Durant, but the other players were playing their role. They were behind them. It seemed like they were all in. Right now, it seems like they're like, yeah, we're all in, but here you go, Russ. Just, lead us. Just, take it, and no one else really is doing much or helping out.
Yeah. It sucks. I mean, my opinion on the Thunder is they are dropping in my playoff picture because look, Russell Westbrook, if anybody in the league could carry a team and can, maintain this type of energy throughout the season, it would be him. But I just don't see how he can continue to play like this for the entire season and somehow manage to get his team into the playoffs and then continue it in the playoffs. Yeah. I don't see it happening. It would be superhuman.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying that he has to get on steroids in order to do it? I'm not saying he is. I'm saying you're saying he has to take them in order to do it.
Nope, not a high take there.
I'm just playing. But no, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's something that, I mean, it's great to watch right now in the regular season. When you do see him, you're like, wow, this guy's unstoppable. This guy's a monster. He's a machine. But I mean, realistically, how long is it going to last? I mean, and then with injury, I mean, we saw, players do that in the past, like Derrick Rose. Remember how he would just be carrying the team or just be unstoppable, playing at, on all cylinders, going 110% every game. And I mean, he's never really been the same, always injury. I hope Russ doesn't have the same thing. I just hope, the talent is just, it sucks. When injury plays a huge factor, with Derrick Rose, he hasn't been the same since he started with all those injuries. Remember how great of a player he was? That guy was amazing to watch. You would just see him and be like, this guy, he's on the smaller side, but he just goes in there, takes it to the hole, and finds a way to get through these defenders, get around these 7 foot, tall guy who's standing in the paint, and he'll still find a way to make the shot. Go around him, go under, bring the ball in, and just throw it up. It was beautiful to watch, and it sucks because I mean he's never been the same since. I just hope that we don't see the same thing with Westbrook because he has that load that he's just carrying it and going all in every single night.
Yeah, I think somebody will join forces with him at some point, or he'll go to a team where he can fit in with what they have going. It's not the Lakers, so Lakers fans, no. Lakers are not the right fit for Russell Westbrook. And if he did come to the Lakers, it would destroy everything that we're building. So it's nothing against him as a player. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to be in the MVP race this season. He's going to average almost a triple-double. But he is not a fit for the Lakers, unfortunately. So
yeah, I get you. Oh, yeah, that's actually my pick so far for MVP. Just in this
Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I did want to share that. Anything else you want to do?
Week 9.
Yeah.
Week 9 in the books.
Dang, so quick. Oh, yeah, Unhinged Sports Talk. Week 9. We never even mentioned the name.
Yeah, we never talked about our name. Unhinged Sports Talk. Again, guys, hit us up on social media.
Yeah,
Andy
Twitter, Facebook.
Is managing all the social media and communicating with everybody, and been trying to do live tweets during games and stuff to interact with you guys. So if there's a game going on, jump on Twitter, interact.
I did
give a shout out.
I did a live tweet during the Ward Kovalev fight, which was a dope fight. I kind of thought Kovalev would win just because of his power. I love both fighters though, so I was just like, when people are like, who do you want to win? I'm just like, I think Kovalev will win, but I'm just excited to watch a great fight. Fight did not disappoint. I still thought Kovalev won. I think he should have had one extra point because of that knockdown that he gave Ward in I believe it was second round.
I want you to save it for next week.
Why?
Because I have some questions for you about boxing.
Okay.
That you have you have more experience and knowledge about boxing, and I have some questions. So let's tease it and leave it out there.
All right, I'll leave that.
I want to talk about boxing next week. We'll talk about this
the
matchup.
future or what?
Yeah, like where it was, where it's at now, where it's going.
I get you.
And kind of what you see happening in the trends. Because I have a few thoughts about it as well. And then, so we'll go into boxing a little bit next week.
Okay, if you guys have not seen that fight, watch it. And yeah, let me know what you think. I did some live tweeting that was interacting with some people who follow the page and back and forth. And it was really cool, really entertaining, really fun. But yeah, that's it. Anything else you want to say before we head out?
That's it. Have a great week.
All right. Have a great week, everybody. Clip City, Chip City.
Lakers rule.